morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hoping you had a great morning this morning. It is Friday morning. Pardon me, as always, a coffee kind of morning. Still got that cough going on. I'm so sorry. Thought I'd share with you today my albums and collection from... These are definitely in my top 5 as one of my favorite bands for sure. You've got the Beatles, you've got Deep Purple, you've got Jethro Tull, Thin Lizzy. Like, there's so many great bands. These guys are right in the top 5. I would say they're third or fourth favorite bands of mine for sure. Uriah Heep, the amazing English rock band. I find they're kind of Deep Purple's second cousins for sure. Very similar sound, very similar style, even though Uriah Heep's more progressive than Deep Purple is. These guys are fantastic. Formed way back in London in 1969. The current lineup is Mick Box, who is the only original member left in the band. An amazing guitarist. Keyboardist Phil Lanzon, lead vocalist Canadian Bernie Shaw, drummer Russell Gilbrook, and bassist Dave Rimmer. They've had a ton of lineup changes over their 56-year career. David Byron, of course, the original lead singer. You've got John Lawton was in the band, Peter Goalby, John Sloman, Paul Newton, Mark Clarke, Gary Thain, John Wetton was in Uriah Heep, Trevor Boulder, Bob Daisley, Alex Napier, Nigel Olsson from the Elton John Band, Keith Baker, Iain Clark, Kerslake, Chris Slade, Ken Hensley, amazing keyboardist, Gregg, Dechert, and John Sinclair. So a ton of lineup changes over the band's 56-year career. Part of that early 70s hard rock and heavy metal, kind of pioneers of hard rock and heavy metal and progressive rock. They've sold 40 million albums worldwide. They've had 25 studio albums. I don't have all the studio albums, but I got a good chunk of these studio albums for sure. 41 compilation albums, 2 greatest hits albums, live albums, 20 live albums in total. I mean, these guys just put out for sure. I picked this one up on Wednesday. This is the picture disc of the original debut album, Uriah Heep. Very heavy, very humble. It's a great album. This is, and it sounds good. I was playing it yesterday. Sounds really good. This is where they started for sure. Foundation of heavy metal music in this one. Mixture of heavy metal, progressive rock. Not quite as hard as their later albums may become. But I've got this one here. This is the UK version of it. I also have 2 versions of the US cover. Very heavy, very humble. One's on the regular Mercury label. One's on the black Mercury label. That's why I keep both copies. I think it's a fantastic album. I really love it. Their second album, Salisbury, 1971 release. More progressive rock than very heavy, very humble. Again, on that black Mercury label. So good. I can't find my vinyl copy of Look at Yourself. So I have a CD copy. I've got to find that copy. It's probably mixed. When I redid my cabinets, I think I mixed them all up. Because I'm missing quite a few albums, actually. But anyway, it's there somewhere. It's probably under the F's or G's or somewhere. A 1971 release. This is probably a high point in their career. Regarded by fans as one of their finest albums. I think it's a fantastic album for sure. Then you've got Demons and Wizards, their 4th album. You got The Wizard, you got Easy Livin', 2 big singles off of this one. It's on the regular Mercury label. Such a great album. And again, another one I'm missing is Magician's Birthday. I'm pretty sure I have it somewhere. 5th album, there's a picture of it there. 1972 release. I do have Sweet Freedom, their 6th album. 1973 release. Again, another combination of progressive and heavy metal. Great stuff. A fine live album, Uriah Heep Live, 1973 release. In April in the US and May 1973 in the UK. The band's first live album. You've got Easy Livin', Sweet Lorraine, Sunrise, July Morning. What else is on here? Look at Yourself, Magician's Birthday, Love Machine, Rock and Roll Medley, Gypsy, Tears in My Eyes. Fantastic stuff. Sounds so good. Then you've got the 7th album, Wonderworld. This is a solid album. Maybe not their best, but it's a solid album. 1974 release. I love the cover as well. There's the back cover there. But a great album. You've got Return to Fantasy, the 8th album by the band, 1975 release. The first album to feature John Wetton on bass, who replaced Gary Thain in 1975. A harder rockin' album than Wonderworld, for sure. And then that Warner Brothers label. High and Mighty, the 9th album, the last album to feature John Wetton, and the last album to feature David Byron, who was fired because of his alcoholism, and he didn't get along with the band at that time. So it's unfortunate we lost an amazing lead singer in Uriah Heep that formed the band, that was the sound of the band for sure. But this is not as progressive or heavy, but more mainstream type of an album. I'm missing Firefly, the 10th album, 1977 release. And I'm also missing Innocent Victim, the 11th album, 1977 release as well. But I do have, got to cover that up. I do have Fallen Angel. Fallen Angel is the 12th album, 1978 release. And this would be the last album to feature John Lawton on vocals, who did a fantastic job. I think this is a great album as well. One of my favorite covers, Abamagog, the 14th album. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm missing Conquest, the 13th album, 1980 release, Conquest. Abamagog, the 14th album, 1982. This would be their first album without Ken Hensley. This was a pretty critically acclaimed album, a pretty successful album for sure. More punchier, more pop metal than harder rock, but it's still a fantastic album. I love the cover again, as I said. Then we have Head First, the 15th album, 1983 release. More arena rock on this one, but still a great effort for sure. Then you got Equator. I love that cover as well. The 16th album, vocalist Peter Goalby and keyboardist John Sinclair are on this one. 1975 release. I'm missing Raging Silence, the 17th album. Bernie Shaw was that made his debut on this album. Canadian Bernie Shaw, who's an amazing vocalist, and keyboardist Phil Lanzon is on this one as well. I'm also missing Different World, the 18th album, 1991 release. I'm missing Sea of Light, the 19th album, 1995. Sonic Origami, the 20th album, 1998. Wake the Sleeper, the 21st album, 2008. Into the Wild, the 22nd album, 2011. Outsider, the 23rd album by the band. Living the Dream is the 24th studio album, 2018 release. But I do have their last album, and some say this is definitely their last album, Chaos and Color, the 25th studio album. It's a fantastic album. It really is. yeah, I really like this album for sure. I do have the definitive anthology, 1970 to 1990. This is Your Turn to Remember. It's on yellow vinyl. You've got 2018 release on this one. This is a kind of a greatest hits for sure. Gypsy, Bird of Prey, Lady in Black, Look at Yourself, July Morning, Easy Livin', The Wizard, Sunrise, Sweet Lorraine, Stealin', Sweet Freedom, Suicidal Man, Return to Fantasy, Devil's Daughter, Sympathy, Firefly, Free and Easy, Free Me, Woman of the Night, Come Back to Me, It Ain't Easy, Too Scared to Run, The Other Side of Midnight, Rockorama, and Voice on My TV. Everything you need for Uriah Heep for sure. And finally, this is acoustically driven. This is recorded live at the Mermaid Theatre in London on 2000 December. This is you got bassist and vocalist Trevor Boulder, drummer Lee Kerslake, Mick Box, of course, on guitar, keyboardist Phil Lanzon, and lead vocalist Bernie Shaw. This is an amazing album. It sounds so good. Again, all acoustic stuff on this one, but a fine, fine album. So there's my Uriah Heep collection. As I said, I'm missing quite a few. I never see any others in the wild except the normal ones that you talk about, their earlier stuff. But I'll keep looking and hopefully find them all. But 25 studio albums is a fair chunk of albums to have in your collection for sure. Anyway, guys, have yourself a wonderful day. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.